this week as they'll take on Reinhardt down in Waleska, Georgia. We'll tell you about that game time and everything coming up over the next few minutes. But first, LWC head football coach Chris Oliver joins me here now, high above Blue Raider Stadium field. And Coach, after last week, the feel good, everything that happened, I know you're excited with getting out of there with a win, but it was a struggle with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought they did a really good job on defense early. And, you know, I point the finger at our offense because we didn't play up to the level that we expect, there's no doubt. But I really thought they took away some things that we could have done. You know, that we felt good about some of the inside running. And, you know, we didn't really establish a run game until the second half. And I thought, you know, credit to Faulkner, I thought their defensive front played a little bit, not that we didn't think they were good, but I thought they played better than we probably had expected. And they did a good job of defending us early. It was tough sledding early. Our defense really came to play. We put them in a lot of bad spots, and finally the offense got rolling at least a little bit in the second half. Numbers still aren't pretty, but we made enough plays.
We talked about in the pregame about having, you know, to take the first punch that Faulkner, because you knew they were going to come in here excited, yep. and they did. And one of the things that Reinhardt did well last week is they took Faulkner's best shots and then they turned it on, and Faulkner kind of went away a little bit. Today, we just didn't have, I don't know what it was, but we just didn't, I guess, respond as early as you would probably hope, and they carried that momentum into the second half.
Yeah, it was kind of a funny first half, the way the game went. One, we didn't sustain drives, so that didn't help us. I think we only ran 26 offensive plays, I believe, in the first half. So it was just tough to answer. We just didn't do a very good job of coming back and making those plays. And, you know, made a few mistakes, a few silly mistakes. We dropped a touchdown, came back, and so it's just one of those games where we didn't come out and click on offense right away the way we wanted. It was us that really had to weather that storm.
At halftime, this was the first time you've gone in the locker room all season long, and you were trailing on the scoreboard. Would your message any different to your guys?
I tell you, there really wasn't much of a message, I'll be honest. I wasn't very happy with the way that the end of the second quarter was administered with the clock when we had the ball. You know, and I'm not going to get into all the details about that, but I wasn't happy with the way the officials ran the clock at the end of the first half. So while I was, you know, getting on the refs probably a little bit longer than I should have, I should have, you know, cooled my nerves a little bit and walked away probably a little sooner. But I'll give our guys credit. I think they fed off the adversity. When we got into the locker room, all the guys were in there. I was a minute later than usual because of that, and there was a positive energy. You know, for being down 16-3. Our guys were not hanging their heads. There was a positive energy. I think they were a little ticked off just about the way we had played. So I think that was a spark, and it's kind of ironic the way that turned out, but that was a little bit of a spark. We came out and warmed up a little bit earlier than normal. There weren't a lot of adjustments to be made. It was just one of those, we got to play better. I mean, we tweaked a couple things, but not a whole lot. And our guys came out and we played better in the second half, and it just is what it is.
That's got to be a pleasant surprise walking in. It's got to speak volumes of the leadership you have within the team.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think so. I think it's a big step for us. And, you know, when I certainly wasn't doing it for this reason, but when your team sees you fighting for them, and we had some adversity to face as a team at the end of the first half, those guys fed off that. So I'll give them credit for not hanging their head. And again, hats off. All the credit goes to our kids for coming out and having the grit to come back in the second half.
Let's talk about the start of the second half. The third quarter of this season has kind of been Lindsey Wilson's quarter. It's where we've either separated for someone, or if it's close, it's kind of, in this case, we were down. It's where we got back in the football game. First drive was absolutely huge. Had to put points on the board.
Yeah, that was such a confidence builder, in having the big pass to Carmitrick over the top. And, you know, Dylan put it in a really good spot. Carmitrick's such a great target. He'll go over and get the football, and he did that. That was a big one. You know, and then finishing off the third quarter, last play of the third quarter, getting the touchdown on the scramble to Jay Godlock. Great job by Dylan to extend the play, and then Jay just with the effort to get that ball over the pylon. Third quarter was big for us, you know, to walk out there 16-3 and leave the third quarter, I think it was 17-16, I believe. You know, that was huge.
Talk a little bit about what it takes when you have a quarterback and a receiver that, you know, we're not talking about two seniors here. We're talking about a sophomore and a freshman, a redshirt freshman. That it was obviously not the way the play was supposed to happen. It was a busted play, but they communicated very, very well.
Yeah, well, Jay is such a heads-up football player, and he just has a knack for making plays. And he did a great job with our scramble rules and getting in the quarterback's vision, and those are things that you practice. You get in the quarterback's vision and you try and get yourself open, and he did that. And, credit to Dylan for delivering the ball, but I think it was Jay that gets the big play on that one for sure.
Let's talk about the play, the one that was just shocked everybody up here. Had to shock a lot of people. Definitely shocked the people on the sideline. The flea flicker where Tyrone Stoller throws his first collegiate pass to Tyrone Mizell, or to Zach Mizell, who catches his first career pass. What went into making that decision to call that play at that time?
Well, we've had a package that we've used Zach with, this year. It's kind of a wildcat type of package, for lack of a better term. It's sort of the in vogue term. So we've had some things we've been able to set up off that. One, we've had some big conversions, just running the football over the course of the season. And then last week we had the play action off of it, which doesn't show up in the stat sheet. We got a 15-yard flag because they're on top of the corner. And then, this week that was just another counter play we had off of it. So it was something we worked on this week, and we got better at throwing it. And obviously it was a big play. It was a big throw. It's one of those. We don't have a real good view of that from the sideline.
It was pretty up here.
When you hear the coaches in your ear saying, "Oh, we got it! Oh, we got it! Oh, we got it!" That excitement just builds, and I think Zach even broke a shoestring tackle at the end. I couldn't quite see it all the way, but I think he even broke a shoestring tackle. I mean, it's just it's a fun play. We run one or two trick plays. It seems like every game. It's part of our mentality and what we do, and a lot of the times we look like idiots, and they don't work, and a lot of the times we look like geniuses, and thankfully that was one in the second.
When you call plays like that, especially in a game that was as intense as this one, are you worried at all about the lack of focus, or does that kind of escalate the focus for your team?
Well, it's not a focus level thing because our guys understand when we practice them that we are going to call them. So we practice those hard. I mean, it's not something where it's kind of a goof off session when we do it. So it's not a focus level thing for us, but it's just the execution. There's so many moving parts in those types of plays. And it's things you don't work on as much. And we do work on it during the week, but compared to everything we do with the offense, it doesn't come close. So it's not a focus thing; it's just an execution thing. And sometimes you can't predict the look that you're going to get from the defense. Our guys, we got the good look, and our guys executed.
Let's talk about the fourth and about a half yard at near midfield, or just over midfield. You had a timeout. You had a chance to discuss it. How close were you to going for it?
Very close. Very close. We had called a play, and I talked myself out of it. It was maybe the toughest decision that I can recall having a game management deal since we've been here. And I can probably come up with something a lot longer hard than that was tough one. Because if you get the first down, it's game over. Mm-hmm. They're out of timeouts. You're 2 minutes and some odd seconds left, so we're under the chart where we can take a knee. But I'll be honest with you, when I saw them walk their 4 D linemen in, and I saw, they're bigger than us.
Right.
It is what it is. And I looked out, and I looked at their 4 guys that they had inside. And 2 years ago, in 2013, and going back to 2012, we had tried some quarterback sneaks against them without much success. I think we were 0 of 4 on quarterback sneaks in 20.
Type of offense. Now, while they entered the red zone a ton today, I thought your defense stood tall and made them kick field goals all day long.
Absolutely, it was just huge. And defense, our red zone defense has been strong. And, their quarterback had thrown 3 interceptions coming in, and he threw 4 today. So credit to our defense. We didn't get a ton of pressure on them. We got to them just a few times, but we made them move a little bit. We made them get the ball out quick, and our guys made some really nice plays in the secondary.
Lindsey Wilson wins it by a score of 24-19. Coach, you don't have a lot of time to enjoy this one because now it's off to Reinhardt, who won again today. A lot of people are going to make a huge deal out of this. You got 2 top 10 teams going to face each other next week. I know this is kind of early. You're still probably thinking more Faulkner than Reinhardt, but what's the message to your guys with the fact? Is it just another game?
Well, it's not just another game because we're playing a great team, but we talk about going 1-0 every week. It doesn't matter who we play. That's always our goal. So we're gonna coach and practice and play to the best of our ability. I have a lot of respect for Reinhardt and what they've built very quickly. They're a very good football team. and we're going to have our work cut out for us.
One final question about this. Do you feel like that your guys were looking past Faulkner, looking at Faulkner or for Reinhardt, or was it
not at all? Credit to Faulkner for coming out and playing hard. And this is a good football team. I know they're on a 3-game slide. They are a very talented, very good football team. So I don't think we're looking ahead at all.
All right, Coach. Congratulations on the win.
Thanks, Chris.
That's LWC head football coach Chris Oliver. Blue Raiders win it by a score of 24-19. Let's take another final 1-minute break. We'll come back and close this one out. This is Blue Raider football on the Lindsey Wilson Sports Network.